Zebec just recently announced another update. Now, what is this? Even though nothing I say is financial advice, the Zebec cards more specifically announced how they're adding their 19th blockchain, which in this case is something called Dash. Now, it's spelled DASH. Now, why do I think it's pretty cool? Well, it's because not only is it their 19th blockchain, but we have to consider the other things they have integrated so far. Like, for instance, we take a look at Base, which is Coinbase's layer 2. We take a look at also something like Sui. We take a look at Stellar. We take a look at the BNB Smart Chain. We take a look at Solana, of course. We take a look at Ethereum. So this is already on top of all that, and then they announced their 19th chain has been integrated. That's pretty interesting to me because, keep in mind, a lot of my friends out there thought that, they don't really care anymore when it comes to the Zebec cards. Well, again, they're still integrating blockchains, so I think that's pretty cool. And also, Dash seems to be pretty popular. So, yeah, when I take a look at something like this, I think that it's a pretty cool update at the end of the day. Is it the greatest of all time? No, I don't think so, but we have to consider. Not too long ago, I was seeing around 12 blockchains integrated. Then it slightly became more, and now it's 19. Could there be 20, 25, 30? Who knows, right? But it wouldn't necessarily surprise me considering kind of the trajectory in which Zebec has been doing this type of stuff, especially when it comes to their cards. But even besides that as well, we also have to consider. People oftentimes like to say, Zebec is kind of boring, they're not really doing anything. Well, here's the thing. When it comes to not really doing anything, they may not necessarily be doing the most exciting things, but they're actually still doing something. That's the way to take a look at it. I like seeing stuff like this because it's not like anyone really asked for it in my perspective. Like, I didn't hear a lot of people asking, we need a 19th chain integrated with the Zebec cards. Not really. You know what I mean? I didn't even hear those talks about the 12th or 15th or 16th chain either when it comes to the amount of blockchains they integrated, right? But they still keep doing it. Now, why is that? I think it's because maybe the mindset seems to be innovating and just not kind of a complacent type of style where other projects that I do see, they do have that vibe where they just don't really care, it feels like to me. Once they see a project reach a certain amount of market cap, typically it's like hundreds of millions or something like that, they just don't really care anymore. But ZBCN, again, it just doesn't seem to be the case for me. Now, we take a look at kind of as a result of this, right? What has ZBCN been doing as of late? Well, I mean, not really that much, I guess, in terms of price in the grand scheme of things. But you know what? Actually, the market cap, we saw a pretty good slight recovery from, we saw not too long ago, around that 200 million range. Now it's around 300 million. So it's not like, I guess, the best thing of all time, considering how the pullback has been pretty extensive in the grand scheme of things, but at the same time, still not bad. And from what I've seen, the last kind of 2 times I've seen ZBCN around that $200 million market cap range, we've always seen a pretty okay sort of, I would say, resurgence afterwards. Could it be different the third time around? Because the last time I saw it was not too long ago, and now we're about 300 million market cap range. Before, it was back in July, and then not soon, or should I say not long after that, the market cap became, around 500 million? So again, the last 2 times I saw this, the market cap did kind of make a pretty okay recovery. Now, does that seem to be kind of the hypothetical bottom? I mean, I don't know, right? I mean, I can't control this, but from the last 2 times I saw it, it seems like it's having a hard time breaking below that 200 million market cap range, I would say. Could it break below that? I mean, in theory, if there was let's say a bear market or something like that, who knows? But I'm just saying, when it comes to something like this, I just haven't seen it, at least the last 2 times, have an easy time breaking well below that $200 million market cap range, like going to 100 million or something like that. I just haven't seen that. Again, the last 2 times, it did test around that $200 million market cap range. Now, a lot of that also is kind of, I think, contributed to the post they made not too long ago when it comes to ISO 20022. I think that was a pretty okay kind of sort of thing that they announced. It wasn't really anything too significant though. They were just saying, that was the deadline date for ISO 20022 or something like that. So it's nothing really that interesting. I still have to wait and see when it comes to really what it could be when it comes to ISO 20022 and things regarding Zebec overall. But I still like kind of the mindset nonetheless. Now keep in mind, ZBCN does not have like 100,000 holders as of right now. Supposedly it has around 88,000, to my understanding, at least from what I can see. And still, even despite that, the market cap is still around 300 million. Like, actually, from that around $200 million market cap range to right now, it's not like the amount of holders increased by such a drastic amount. It was still around that, like, 80,000 range, right? It's not like not too long ago we saw like 70,000, now it's like nearly 90,000. No, it didn't seem like that to me. And what I feel is that if I see that right there, I don't think ZBCN has really changed in terms of kind of the attention. I just felt like the sentiment maybe changed a little bit, but it hasn't really become mainstream yet because we haven't seen ZBCN go above 100,000 holders, above 150,000. But then still, even despite that, the market cap is still around 300 million even currently. So when I see something like that, my kind of imagination, hypothetically, is if we're kind of seeing this currently, what could it be during an altcoin season? If we're already seeing this as of right now. Now, who knows? I can't control the market, but I'm totally aware that even with this recovery, 10 cents, it's around 30 times actually more than what it is as of right now. So still, it's kind of far away. Not too long ago, we saw, 10 cents being around like an 11x. So it wasn't like such a, I guess, good thing seeing this right now, but still, the recovery has been pretty okay considering how when it comes to something like, again, ZBCN, the pullback hasn't been as extensive as some of the other projects out there that we do see, because some other projects that we do see, like their market cap has tested new all-time lows, right? Some of them have reached new record all-time lows. Also, some of them also just, they're kind of back to the level in which they were in 2020. Like, that's years ago at this point, right? We're almost in 2026. Now, what does this mean when it comes to ZBCN? I think that, at least personally from what I can see, it seems to be holding up pretty okay considering how, first of all, it's an altcoin, and also, second of all, it doesn't have the biggest market cap out there. And also, third of all, I think it kind of showcases maybe kind of the conviction that is maybe had when it comes to this project, because I've never seen the amount of holders like dip such a drastic amount, even with seeing like those market caps tested around 200 million, around that range back in July, and as well as, back in November, which is, of course, this month. But I'm saying, like, we take a look at it, just basically nearly a week ago, we saw the market cap not do that good. So what I find pretty impressive is that even throughout those times, the amount of holders has still been holding up pretty okay. And also, what I can see as well is that when it comes to ZBCN, it doesn't seem like it's treated as a joke, right? Because some other projects out there, people just kind of treat it, they're trying to do this, they're trying to do that. They just treat it for fun because they're not really doing anything. However, I've seen what Zebec has done with Algorand. I've seen what they've done with, Bonk, right? I've seen what they're doing when it comes to the Zebec cards. I see how they're still working towards that ISO 20022 compliance. I see how they're still focused on payments, global chain finance. So when I take a look at all this, I just personally don't have the mindset where I just want to give up on Zebec. That's the way to take a look at it. Personally, as of right now, I'm just staying patient. I'm holding and I'm waiting, and that's pretty much about it. But I just wanted to make a video real quick and just talk about my perspective as to what I think about this, because quite frankly, they didn't really have to do this, right? Again, integrating another blockchain. When it comes to the Zebec cards, no one's really asking for it. Like, for instance, they announce another one, let's say it becomes 20. Like, no one's really asking for that, right? But then I like this. It's kind of like doing extra credit in my perspective. It's not really necessary, but you know what? I just like the effort that they're doing nonetheless. That's my point of view. It's like, for instance, let's say my friend asked me for 10 cookies and I give my friend 12. Now, adding those 2 more cookies, it doesn't necessarily mean that they asked for it, but it's just kind of like the effort. That's my perspective. So when it comes to something like this, it just kind of gives me a little bit of that vibe when it comes to Zebec. Again, when it comes to Zebec, I also like how they don't really have such a large team. Like I even talked about this in one of my previous videos. They have over 25 members. And keep in mind, Zebec has a presence in San Francisco, London, and as well as New York. And still only above 25 members. Like some other projects out there, way smaller than Zebec, their members are 100. Like, it's a lot. It feels like to me, Zebec is prioritizing efficiency, like more streamlined, right? Not really having such a massive amount of staff or having a massive amount of team members, and then it's not really being utilized properly for the project because, again, there's a lot of staff, let's say. It could be pretty, massive in terms of the annual expenses, right? Even monthly, right? If they just keep hiring more and more and more. So I do like this. It's kind of like having a minimalist wardrobe, right? Personally, for me, I've been trying to kind of trim down my wardrobe as well, just trying to make it more minimalist, more kind of, I would say, more intentional. That's the way to take a look at it. Just being a little bit more intentional about what I acquire when it comes to my clothing and just prioritizing the ones that I actually do need and the ones that I don't need. Because if something isn't being used, I do one of three things. The first being, I try to sell it online. However, I also try to donate it, or not, I give it to one of my friends or something like that, or someone just maybe wants my clothes. Again, I just kind of let them have it. That's the way to take a look at it. I just don't try to keep my wardrobe and just have a massive wardrobe. Personally, for me, I don't have any satisfaction from saying, oh, take a look at my wardrobe, take a look at how many clothes there are. No. For me, kind of my satisfaction is seeing not that many clothes, but then having it be more intentional. That's my point of view. But yeah, besides that point, I kind of feel like Zebec kind of gives me that vibe. However, I just wanted to make that video real quick. When is there going to be an altcoin season? I mean, I have no idea as of right now. I can't control that, but I'm going to control myself just by staying patient, holding, and just been doing what I've been doing. I've been dollar cost averaging once a month, and that's pretty much about it. However, I'm not telling anyone to do anything. I want to say thank you for watching this video. I hope y'all have a nice day. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.